So
that's another good story.
I did pop a couple fuses. I was a little excited. Hooked my battery up, and I hear relays going kind of crazy on the fuse block here. This little relay right here was just clicking and kind of going goofy, and I thought, wait a minute. And I go to the passenger compartment. I've got that harness. You know, it's just laying there. I've got all the wires separated where they're supposed to go, but I just had them kind of laying, and a couple of them were touching the floor. And I came back out, and sure enough, it had popped a couple fuses. So, but yeah, that was kind of fun. I was like, I better unhook that. So, anyways, that's done. I think that's kind of an important thing to have.
And how many of those are you going to have?
Just this one.
Just the one?
Just the one. Yeah, and like I say, the DC to DC converter will keep this charged, and then as I require amperage and things, you know, windshield wipers or headlights, the cooling fan for our motor, you know, things like that. I'm not hitting that DC to DC converter to do it all. Mm-hmm. It's, you know, it's got a little reserve tank here to keep things rolling. So, and plus it helps me right now get power to where I need to get power to without actually having to have the DC converter. Right. I had those 26650s here. I'm like, I'm just going to use them, throw them together in a pack and stick it on the side of the car, and it's, you know, minimal weight and you know, will work good. So.
Sounds good. Do you want to get to the power lock now?
We can. I spent yesterday on the lathe here at the shop taking a piece of this and turning it into this.
Let's do a little close up. See? Can you turn it around? Nice.
Okay. And basically what this does is this is an adapter to bolt our flywheel to the output shaft of our motor, which is right here. And we do that via our trusty, handy-dandy Tsubaki power lock. And that's why I machined this in here. Fits into the Tsubaki power lock there. And then the other end slides over the shaft. Tighten these bolts down. I had it on there yesterday, not even tight. I just finger tight these bolts down to make sure everything was positioned correctly and to get a measurement on where I was at. And I had to use one of my puller to take it back apart. Because once it's down, they don't let go. I'm really impressed with these Tsubaki power locks. I mean, these things are simply amazing, and literally just finger tight. That's why I have this screwdriver in here to keep the lock spread apart, because if I take this out and I do a test fit into here, it grabs a hold of it and it won't let go. Not even, you know, tightening it together, it wants to hold on to that piece. So I'm really impressed with these as far as you know, coupling shafts together. I think this is really the way to go. Like I said, this thing will withstand I think it's 2,500 foot-pounds of torque without slipping, without letting go. So, you know, just very impressed with those. But anyways, yeah, this mounts to our plate right here. Okay, and I machined this area out here because that is the pilot for our torque converter on our transmission. And this is your pilot. And you want that to be supported, because your torque converter, if you don't support that, will move like this. And it is designed, if you pull a gasoline, and when you pull your gasoline engines apart, if you have an automatic or even a manual, your input shaft has a pilot to go into for support. And that's what this is for. And obviously the main bearing in the casing of our motor becomes our main bearing to support the pilot for this. And of course this, you know, slides on to here, just like that. And then that piece is machined fit into, you know, it slides up into our adapter. You know, this here goes into this here,
And then that
and
there
it gives
goes.
it, and this end attaches to that end of the shaft through the
Power lock.
power lock. So
Do you want to show?
now, one of the things I do want to mention before we get too carried away is that I have to have a signal for my RPM activated transmission switch. And the device itself is one rotation is 1 RPM, and there's no way to program that. And I've kind of been beside myself figuring out how I can get this 1 pulse per revolution, because our tachometer output for our Zilla will do either 4 pulses per revolution for a 4-cylinder tach or 6 pulses per revolution for a 6-cylinder tachometer. And in a standard car tachs either work on 4 pulses per revolution. If you're a 4-cylinder, you're firing 4 times. If you're a 6-cylinder, you're firing 6 times. So you have 6 pulses equals 1 revolution. And that's how those kind of work. And I've kind of been looking, thinking, how can I set this up and where can I mount it? I did order a couple of the inductive proximity sensors, which again, I'm waiting on those to get here, which essentially Jack uses them on the Escalade. He's got one set up. It's got the little LED light in it that pulses every time something ferrous comes, anything metal comes past it, it pulls the signal and gives it a pulse. I was looking at my torque converter, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but Ford, in their infinite wisdom, made a drain for their torque converters.
Oh, yeah, I can get
this
in there.
this little plug right here, and it's raised up off of the edge of the torque converter. So what I'm going to do is essentially just drill a hole in the side of my case and mount my sensor to pick up this head of this bolt. So for every revolution that this has, as it comes around, 1 revolution. 1 revolution. I've set my Zilla up as a 4-cylinder because it's easy, just 4 pulses, and we can pick up the studs here from our flywheel mount. So I'll have to have 2 sensors. 1 sensor for the RPM activated switch, 1 sensor to run my Zilla so it knows engine RPM, and to signal my tachometer for my gauge in the car to drive the tachometer in the car. So, but Jack said one time it's better to be lucky than smart, and we got lucky with the 470W having both of those things right there. It's, you know, basically drill a hole, mount your sensor, done. Just, you know, that simple. A lot of times things just kind of fall into place like that. So anyways, I wanted to mention that. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. So I like that.
And then what else? Where else are we at?
We're not showing Bob's today, are we? We're running out of, I mean, we've got it. We're at almost 20 minutes.
20
already.
minutes, yeah.
That's pretty
We'll do
long.
Bob's on another day. Bob was kind of funny. He didn't want me to do any.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
just
he
honor
wants
that then.
he
Whatever.
likes
That's
to
fine.
yeah, keep
and he
it.
likes surprises.
Yeah, he likes to surprise people. So
Well, and he likes his privacy.
he also likes blowing Shawmot giant fuses and
That's a great
scaring
story.
scaring the crap out of me.
Can
in
we
the
tell that
process.
story or no?
No, we'll save that for another
He
time.
might not want everybody to
He might
know
not want
that.
everybody to know that he blew not 1, but 2 of the big.
So that's the reason he's on vacation and his car is still in the shop.
His car's still in the shop.
And we
he's on
still don't
vacation.
have, but let's show real quick, since Bob left,
Since
how clean it is.
yes,
Look at how clean.
yes, everything other than where I was using the wave yesterday. I
Yeah.
didn't sweep up. Maybe go pick my daughter up.
Yeah. Looks
So.
nice. Okay.
And that's kind of a wrap, I think. So
Say goodnight, Gracie.
push the red button. Other red button.